Alright guys, welcome back. So this will be my first video for one of my league starter, and this is the league starter that I'm going to be using in the League of Kalandra League. Alright, it is the Occultist Wintertide brand. I have played this a couple of times and even trial run with it. I am pretty sure it's going to be a very good league starter. It is not potentially like the best league starter, but it is really good at clearing maps, so that's why I like it. And for those of you that is going to play my Blade Vortex build, this is the league starter you should be starting off before transiting into the low budget variant for the Blade Vortex. Alright, so just a quick introduction. This skill, right, doesn't have the best single target, but in terms of clear, as you can see from the gameplay, it is superb. Okay, the gameplay is actually a tier 5 cemetery map, so I just want to show you how it actually does. And I am not even using like a level 20 skill. They are actually level 11 or 20. Like, I just bought them off from the shop, and I mean the vendors, and just go along with the map. Alright, and before I go through the POB, I just want to let you guys know the POB paste bin is over here on my Google spreadsheet under my POE builds. You can just refer it over here. There is no buy list for this. Okay, it is a league starter. You are supposed to grab anything and go, fulfill your life and resistance, and just play along as you farm for your low budget. Alright, so no buy list. Remember, all my league start has no buy list. That is not what is considered a league starter in my own reference or text. Alright, okay, and now on to the POB. This is how the skill tree will look like, roughly at level 80. Alright, and there are various skill trees, so level 80, level 90, and before that there is a respect, and I'll show you what are the skills you should take along through the act. Okay, so let me just go through a quick one. So this is level 44. I have after act 5, when you start off from act 1, you want to take all of this, alright, and then make your way as fast as possible all the way until Runesmith, alright, and Runebinder. You should always prioritize to reach here as soon as possible. Okay, so I'm just gonna give you a very quick showcase. Let me just create a new one. Okay, I am just gonna call this level 12 act 1. Okay, just for reference, right? So it is level 12, right, at act 1. So you go with this same, you still go with the spell damage, because you need the spell damage to kind of progress yourself really nicely. I wouldn't take this. Alright, just completely ignore them. Okay, just completely ignore them and go all the way here. You see, I'm actually already level 12. So level 12 Runebinder. We can have one more. We can have an additional brand attached to the enemy. Alright, so we are still good. And then over here is level 13 already. So this is how it should be for act 1. Okay, for act 1, of course, if you have troubles, I don't think you should have troubles with any attribute, because they are all blue color skill gems. So after that, when you reach act 2, immediately take this. Okay, all the way until Runesmith, and the brand mastery. Brands attached to a new enemy each time they activate, no more than once every 0.3 seconds. This is going to make the league starter Wintertide brand very delicious. Alright, this is the whole reason why it is so strong, because as long as there is multiple monsters within like the pack of monsters, it is going to keep jumping, and that is where Wintertide brand is very strong, because every time it detaches from an enemy, right, it will activate cold damage per second around it. So you can see, let's just find it in here. Okay, let me just read the text. Alright, so it creates a magical brand which can be attached to a nearby enemy, dealing cold damage over time and chilling them. It periodically activates while attached. Alright, and when removed, right, a short duration debuff dealing the same damage over time and chill is applied to each enemy. Okay, so it activates every 0.25 seconds, which means every 0.25 seconds is going to detach and attach to another enemy and deal double damage. So if you have two Wintertide brand, it keeps detaching and attaching to each other, in short, it's going to deal like 4 times damage. That is why it is so insane. You cannot see the DPS over here. It is not accurate at all. Okay, it really depends on how many monsters there are in the whole pack of monsters. Yeah, as you can see from my gameplay, right, I am just putting one Wintertide brand on each pack of monsters, and I just move along. Alright, when I see a rare monsters, I just apply the Bane debuff, which we have Elemental Weakness, Frostbite, and Despair, that will kill all the rare monsters really very quickly. Alright, and then you just have the rest of them. Okay, so yes, this is the skill. I'm not going to include the Act 1. I'm just trying to explain that you should head to the Runesmith and the Runebinder in your skill tree as soon as possible, so that this build is really awesome. Alright, so just follow this after Act 5, and there is one after Act 10. Right, basically after Act 10, I'm just trying to show you like what are the skills you should be taking when you finish Act 10. Okay, so when you finish Act 10, you're gonna start mapping, right? When you actually start mapping, you don't really need all these front notes. So I actually have one that is respect. You can take the compare and then just go with the Act 10. You can see where are actually the differences. Okay, so you remove this 4, and then you just add these 2 intel nodes with more life. Alright, and then once you continue mapping, you can just take all of these nodes. Alright, there is one thing that I might have missed out. So actually this 60% reduced reflected elemental damage is not needed. Okay, because we are dealing cold dot damage. Cold dot damage doesn't actually reflect any damage. So you can reduce this, and you can apply any other stuff like exposure you inflict has more damage and stuff like that. Alright, definitely up to you. Okay, so this is level 80. So if you actually progress even further, I have a level 93. Just take note of the difference between 80 and 90. Basically over here, we kind of have more or less enough damage already. I just want to go for more chaos resistance so I don't get one shot easily. Alright, if you want more damage, you can just take the notes over here, which is the shield portion. It grants spell damage when you're holding a shield. We are basically holding a shield for this build. Okay, and on over to the skill section. This is the 6-link Wintertide brand. If you do not have the 6-link, it is okay. Alright, it is okay. You basically just have to follow this sequence accordingly from the top to bottom. Wintertide brand, and then control destruction and efficacy with swift affliction. Alright, this 4 is the most important. If you have a 5-link, put in hypothermia. If you have a 6-link, put in inspiration. Alright, and then we are going to go with the Bane debuff. The Bane is basically a skill that will affect an area of monsters, and it basically applies a debuff based on the links of your curse on Bane. Alright, so as you can see, I have 3 curse, so the monster will be affected by all of these 3 curse at one go. Alright, this only works if you have the double curse and the triple curse, which I actually took over here. Okay, so Despair is not ready for the chaos damage. We actually want it just for the cursed enemies take 25% increased damage from damage over time effect. Alright, auras, we are going to go with Clarity, Hatred, Defiance, Banner, and Determination. This is kind of like the go-to aura right now. I cannot slot in Herald, and just to let you know, for cold dot damage, right, Herald does not affect anything. Okay, so for those of you out there that doesn't know, cold dot damage, Herald Eyes does not affect cold dot damage. So basically, it does not increase anything. Okay, of course, Malevolence is kind of like the better portion over here. There you go. Malevolence is the better one, but because we are going to transit into the beefy cold conversion, and we're going to use Hatred, that's why I use Hatred instead. The damage difference is not really a lot, and that's why it is still okay. Movement skill plus utility, just the same, Frostblink and Arcane Surge. If you are dealing with very tanky rare monsters, even after the Bane debuff or unique map bosses, then you have Frostbomb. And then lastly, the cast when damage taken and Molten Shell. Alright, if you want a support golem, okay, you can just put in the Summon Flame Golem. right? It's just going to give you a bit more damage, but I will say only use this when you're fighting bosses, alright? If not, just don't bother. It's not really going to affect a lot of stuff. For the item, just very simple, alright? Just take any wand, of course, as high as possible. The base, the implicit with increased spell damage, and then just throw in the essence away with increased spell damage. You can bench craft any damage modifier on it, whichever that you have unlocked, and it's still fine. And then for our shield, just go for life resist and then benchcraft a resist, and this applies for every single item of our rare equipment. Alright, for the rings, just make sure you have enough strength and dex to fulfill the requirements on your skill gems. Otherwise, just benchcraft like me, strength and dex. It should work out very fine, okay? So you can see here my belt has the strength and dexterity as well. Right, you don't really need to have the strength over here. What I'm trying to tell you is just all of your rare items fulfill 3 aspects of it: life, resist, and attribute. Right, and the flask, just go for quicksilver with movement speed, granite with the increased armor, sulfur for the reduced effect of curses. Alright, we're not going to use silver flask. Onslaught is not going to do anything for us. And then for the 4th flask is really up to personal preference. Alright, I prefer the amethyst so that I don't get one shot so much, and the immunity to poison, because poison is really very strong for against our low budget builds. We don't really have a lot of chaos resistance. That is why I like to have this immunity to poison during flask effect. It kind of make me survive better. Alright, and then lastly, any of the life flasks with immunity to bleeding and corrupted blood. So yes, that is really very simple. Okay, over at the notes section, this is what are the gems and what are the socket links and colors you should look out. So socket links and colors I have shown over here. This is for Act 1 and Act 2. You can just copy this, alright, paste it in your vendor. Let me just show you a quick example. Alright, so just go to any vendor, you know, you can paste it in. Wait, why is it showing everything? Okay,
God hasn't abandoned us.
maybe there's something wrong with it. Yeah, it's showing everything. Okay, I think I need to go and revisit that portion. Right, otherwise I'll just put it in words. Just look out for all of the colors, and then the 4 links to look out from Act 3 onwards. I have listed it over here. Alright, this is basically what you need moving along. There is not a lot of 4 links, so you don't have to worry. This is basically for your Wintertide brand, this is basically for your Bane debuff, and this is for your aura. Okay, just follow through exactly step by step. You should be done in no time. I will say the only trouble here is to get to level 12 with the freezing pulse. Alright, you might actually encounter a little bit of problem with the freezing pulse when you actually fight Brutus at the upper prison, or is it the lower prison? Okay, I can't remember. The prison. Alright, basically over here, once you finish it, you can take clarity, and before that you have to kill Brutus, and I tell you, Brutus is actually a bit brutal. It's not really easy to kill him. You might die once, you might die twice. It really depends on how you actually cut him. Alright, freezing pulse is not exactly the best skill against him, but it does take some time, a few minutes or so, but it's not impossible to deal with. Alright, and once you get Wintertide brand, it will just be very, very fast. Okay, so just follow this guide. I'm not going to read through. It has exactly word for word on what you should do. Okay, and yes, that's it for the Wintertide brand league start guide. I will post. Okay, that comes to the end of this video. So if you have any questions, do join the Discord and I will try to answer your questions. And if you like my video, do remember to hit the like and subscribe button. I will see you in the next one. Bye.